Remember when Game of Thrones said that ice zombies aren't scary enough? What if we made them incest babies who turn into ice zombies, right? That's cool. Then presumably 5 minutes after that, they said, okay, let's make the incest babies ice incest baby zombie things, but after we say that, let's never mention it again or explain it or anything. Sound cool? Cool. Thus we get Craster sons. And what does it all mean? Why, nothing, of course. Nothing has meaning. We don't have to pay off storylines. Sorry, got dark there. So I have to agree with this comment. This storyline in the show was very confusing because they seemingly drop this giant truth bomb on us that Craster's sons, the ones that he sacrifices to the others, to the White Walkers, are then in turn turned into White Walkers? Yes? And we are told this for the very important reason being vibes. Like, ooh, this is a spooky thing, so here's your spooky. Thank you. So let's talk about this a little bit because for anyone who doesn't know, this is not a thing that happens in the book. This is not a reveal that happens in the book, at least not yet. Because remember, the book is comprised completely of like each chapter being a particular character's point of view. And obviously, we do not have a White Walker point of view. We don't have a Craster baby's point of view. We don't have like a Patches the Arctic Fox who we follow into the lands of always winter and get to like spy on what's going on with. No, we don't get any of that. I'd love an Arctic Fox though. Anyway. However, I'm not going to discount it completely because it seems like it comes from a little chunk that we get in Storm of Swords from a Samwell chapter. Spoilers from the year I graduated kindergarten. First, let's do a yucky refresher on Craster, his wives, his daughters, and his sons. So Craster is a wildling who lives beyond the wall, though not super crazy north. He lives like just close enough to the Night's Watch and to Castle Black that the Night's Watch regularly does some business with him, and he in turn helps them when they are out ranging. If by some stroke of mercy you have blessedly forgot, Craster is a despicable human being who practices incest polygamy. Yay! Really just innovating something that did not need innovation, ever. Blah. So Craster has this basically like little culty compound where presumably he started off with a wife or two who wasn't directly related to him. But then as he continued to have children and those children grew up just old enough that he would marry them and they would beget more children and just kept going in a horrific cycle that is, Anyway, a very interesting detail that comes out of this is obviously if this man is creating, an incest harem, eventually, occasionally, there are going to be sons born out of that. But there are no sons around, so where do they go? Well, during the big ranging that, Jeor Mormont, the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, has undertaken with Jon Snow and all the merry folk of the Night's Watch, Jon has one of his first big moments of disillusionment when he finds out that Craster is sacrificing his sons out to the forest, and that the Night's Watch knows about it. But because the Night's Watch depends on Craster and his hospitality, this is something that they just put up with. They know that it's happening, they know that they should probably do something about it, but they don't because they need Craster, so they turn a blind eye. But why is Craster doing this? Is it just because he's, trying to eliminate the competition, like one of those, like, gross polygamists that you hear about? I mean, probably, but there's another very big reason. And that's because Craster lives north of the wall. He lives north of the wall with the others around, the White Walkers around. And so when the cold comes in and he has a son, he leaves it out in the forest as an offering for them. And this seemingly works for him. Giving them an offering ensures that they leave him and his little compound alone. And this goes on for years because it seemingly works. I don't remember the exact quote, but when Jon asks about it, this might be from the TV show or the book or both, I'm sorry if I get it wrong, but Mormont basically says that Craster worships harsher gods than we're used to. And the gods are the others. In his mind, this is a weird supernatural being with the power to take life away or to let you keep it. And so he worships through offerings, which were very common amongst the wildlings, and specifically worshiping the old gods. Because in a similar sense, the old gods is a pretty hardcore religion that requires a lot of blood sacrifice. And so it was very common for the first men and seemingly their predecessors, the children of the forest, who also worship the old gods, to kill people as part of that blood sacrifice. And this becomes a very interesting motif because something that we know about the religions where there seems to be something legitimate to it is that a lot of them seem to require blood sacrifice as an important core tenet of the religion. Because as we learn from the series, only death can pay for life. So the old gods require blood sacrifice, R'hllor, the Lord of Light, requires sacrifice, Old Valyria was known to practice blood magic, which presumably uses blood sacrifice as well. The only one who doesn't is the new gods, the Seven, which is why I don't think they're real. But that's another video I'll make soon. If you want to hear it, let me know in the comments. Anyway, Craster sacrifices these children, seemingly keeps him and his wife, daughters safe, and so all's good, cool. Well, it couldn't protect him from crazy Night's Watch people, so if you watch the TV show, you remember that when they, they come back from their ranging, they stop at Craster's Keep again, and then there is a mutiny. A lot of people are killed, Craster is killed, Jeor Mormont is killed, and then the mutinous members of the Night's Watch go gross on the compound, and they start assaulting people and eating all the food and stealing and assaulting people. Again, that's the important one, but it sucks. But in the midst of all that, Gilly takes this as her opportunity to escape because there's chaos all around. Craster's dead. She knows what's coming, and so she asks Sam, like, help me get out of here. Sam is, of course, terrified, but then some of Craster's other wives, the older ones, are like, hey, no, you were gonna help her, okay? And Gilly pulls the whole "you promise" card, and he's like, no, I told you John would help. Please don't make me do it. I'm Sam. Oh, Sam. But then, to bring it back to the Craster Sons thing, at the end of that interaction where they're like convincing Sam to help, we have this exchange where Gilly is crying and she says, please, Sir Crow, he's a boy, just like Nella said he'd be. If you don't take him, they will. They? Said Sam, and the raven cocked its black head and echoed, they. Sorry, voices. The boy's brothers, said the old woman on the left. Craster's sons. The white cold's rising out there, Crow. I can feel it in my bones. These poor old bones don't lie. They'll be here soon. The sons. Now, I can see how the TV show saw this and went, okay, the boys that are taken, the sons, get turned into White Walkers, and we're just going to show that on screen. Cool. But because it's never elaborated on, it's very much like, okay, but how? How does this work exactly? Because we can, like, yeah, see how they are turned into another, their eyes go blue and all that, but it's still a baby. So are you telling me that they, like, turn into a zombie and then they grow up and then, like, this is where the confusion lies. Like, not explaining any further creates all of these questions that unfortunately remained unanswered. And because this creates a whole lot of questions that we don't get answers to, it makes me question whether, like, this is exactly how it's going to be in the books, and whether, like, the others are legitimately, or at least some of them, are Craster sons. Because if we go back to A Game of Thrones, the first book, old Nan, Bran's, like, nanny, who knows, like, a lot about the old stories and stuff, she also talks about, like, children being sacrificed kind of to the others, but it's in a completely different light. Like, as she's talking about the others, like, hunting people during the first long night, and she said, and even maidens and suckling babes found no pity in them. They hunted the maids through frozen forests and fed their dead servants on the flesh of human children. Now, this could mean a lot of things. Seemingly that, the children are being given over, but as whites, remember, W-I-G-H-T, like the animated corpses and stuff like that. And in a way, even though, like, baby whites are kind of impractical, I kind of prefer that because I like keeping the others as, like, something different than humans, something like higher and mystical and scary. And I don't know, I guess I just don't love, like, thematically the others, the White Walkers, just being like human beings who were turned into this thing instead of being like this supernatural force. The moral of the story, even after almost 8 minutes of talking about this, I don't know why Craster's sons got turned into a zombie. I don't know how it works, and I don't think they did either. Okay, goodbye.